Hi students, welcome to the another session of chemistry. So, we are actually discussing the balancing of redox reactions mainly. So, for balancing the redox reactions, we introduce the concept of oxidation state or oxidation number, and we have seen how to calculate oxidation state and oxidation number in the previous classes, and we defined already oxidation and reduction, and based on the mainly like classical models and a modern scale. So, addition of oxygen, removal of hydrogen or loss of electrons is oxidation, addition of hydrogen, removal of oxygen and addition of electrons is reduction. That is already we did, and then we introduced for the redox reaction to identify, we will use a concept called oxidation state, and that also we did with the different examples and already continued. So, now let us try to define what is oxidation and reduction based on the oxidation state concept. So, already what is oxidation state, we said it is nothing but the charge on an atom. So, already if suppose you take zinc converting as Zn2 plus, the oxidation state of zinc here is 0, here the oxidation state of zinc is +2. So, the zinc is going from 0 to +2 state. So, we suppose write the balanced equation, we wrote 2 electrons here and this we said oxidation. So, now based on the oxidation state, if you define what is oxidation is, if you have a lower charge going to higher charge or oxidation state of an element increases or an atom increases in a process, then that process is called oxidation. So, the oxidation means the process in which oxidation state of an element increases. So, let us see the other reaction, the reduction reaction, what we already explained as copper 2 plus 2 electrons giving copper. So, the gain of electrons is reduction. So, if you use the oxidation state concept now, oxidation state of copper here is +2, oxidation state of copper here is 0. So, it is now going from a higher value to a lower value, or the charge on the atom is decreasing. So, the process in which oxidation state of an element decreases is known as now reduction. So, any reaction if it is given, we can identify what is reduction in this, what is oxidation in this. So, already we said any chemical reaction if you take, you must have the reduction and oxidations. That is, only the reduction reaction may not be there in the complete equation, complete reaction, or oxidation reaction may not be there in a complete reaction only. So, if you take any reaction which involves reduction, must involve even oxidation. So, all reactions as taken as redox reactions basically. So, we can identify what is reduction and oxidation here based on the oxidation number concept or state concept. So, let us now move ahead with the types of redox reactions what we have, then we proceed. Clear? Types of redox reactions. We observe some different types of reactions actually. So, let us see some examples here. So, let us say one reaction zinc already common standard what we already discussed. Zinc plus copper sulphate is giving zinc sulphate and copper. So, if you see this reactants now, zinc oxidation state here is 0, here the copper oxidation state is plus 2, and here the zinc oxidation state is plus 2, here the copper oxidation state is 0. So, what we say now? Zinc is undergoing oxidation, copper is undergoing reduction. Clear? So, now when we consider this one, in this zinc is undergoing oxidation, copper sulphate is undergoing reduction, that is the whole molecule will say the undergoing reduction. So, that we will say one compound will undergo, or in one compound one element may undergo oxidation, in another compound another element may undergo reduction. So, in a one chemical unit oxidation takes place, in another chemical unit when reduction takes place, such type of redox reactions we call it as intermolecular redox reactions. So, what you can define as reactions in which an element from one molecule is oxidized and another element or an element from another molecule, different molecule is reduced. Such type of redox reactions we call intermolecular redox reactions. So, most of the redox reactions will come under this class basically what we see. So, we come across so many, we are not, I am not giving now all the examples here. So, you can see so many examples in any chemical reactions, like even you can take a simple displacement reactions will come under where the redox reactions will come under this example. So, like you say if chlorine is taken and treated with potassium iodide, you will get KCl plus I2. It is not a balanced equations, but if you see the oxidation state of chlorine here 0, here the oxidation state of chlorine is -1, means from this compound or chlorine molecule, chlorine is undergoing reduction 0 to -1. In this iodine is in -1, is going to 0. So, it is -1 to 0, there is an increase. So, this is we will say oxidized, this we say reduced. Here chlorine is undergoing reduction, here iodine is undergoing oxidation. So, which is also now intermolecular redox reactions from two different molecules. So, there must be two different molecules are involved, that are known as intermolecular redox reactions. So, let us start with the next example. Let us go to the next example. So, the next example is now you have suppose taken KClO3. Now, when it is heated, it converts into KCl plus O2. What is oxidation states of chlorine, and if you see potassium, why we are not calculating in the previous class also, why we have not taken potassium. Potassium is always +1 whenever it is in a compound, because 1A element will always have +1 oxidation state. So, what you see for changes where you are actually seeing is chlorine, which is in +5 here, you can calculate it, potassium is +1, oxygen is generally taken as a reference -2, and we determine on chlorine. So, we have not done some examples, more examples maybe, but when you are doing the balancing of reactions to identify the reduction and oxidation reactions, anyhow we will be calculating the oxidation state also. So, oxidation states are anyhow determined even in the balancing part of the reactions. So, that practice also you will get if you just do on, but if you are familiar with the oxidation state calculations, then your balancing part also becomes easy. So, let us see now what is oxidation state of chlorine. If you get now here is 1 plus x minus 6 is equal to 0, you will get x is equal to plus 5, that is what I have written. So, what should be the oxidation state of oxygen here is minus 2, already there. What is oxidation state of chlorine here is minus 1, because potassium is plus 1. What is oxidation state of oxygen here is 0, because it is in elementary state. Clear? So, what is happening in this equation? In this reaction, there is a decrease and increase. Chlorine is undergoing reduction, oxygen is undergoing oxidation. So, you can say this is oxidized, oxidation, this you can say reduction. But we have only one molecule here, KClO3. So, what are these type of redox reactions are called is? So, the second is class of this type of reactions. An element from one molecule is reduced or oxidized, you can write, and an element or another element from same molecule is oxidized. So, one element from a one molecule only will reduce and another element, different element will undergo oxidation and reduction. So, that such type of redox reactions we call now as intramolecular. Redox reactions. Intra means within, the inter means with the two different. So, when one molecule is taken, an element in that will undergo oxidation. In another molecule, when another element is undergoing reduction, then we say inter, between two different molecules. When it is happening between only in a one molecule, one element reduces, another element, different element undergoes oxidation, then we call it as intramolecular reaction or intramolecular redox reactions. Clear? So, we see so many examples wherever you get, then you can identify them. Clear? Now, the third type. So, let us keep this instead of writing every time. So, let us go to the next type of redox reactions here, third class. We have a reaction, suppose like chlorine changes to Cl minus and gives ClO3 minus. So, there may be some other substances, but those substances are not actually shown, in the sense there is no changes are involved here. So, where it happens there we will see all that complete equations when taken, but I have taken some equation in an ionic form, in the ions form. So, now what is this? If you see the chlorine oxidation state here 0, here the chlorine oxidation state is minus 1, here the chlorine oxidation state if you determine separately, the oxygen is minus 2, chlorine is suppose x, you say x minus 6 plus anyhow, but I am writing directly minus 6 is equal to minus 1. So, x is equal to plus 5. but this was a simple ion. Directly we can write this charge as oxidation state. So, here it is a non-reacted free element, free state. So, it is 0, but here if you just work out separately, you will get the what is oxidation state. So, what is oxidation state here? Plus 5. Now, what we are observing here? We are having only chlorine molecule. In that only chlorine itself is 0 to -1, that is reduced, 0 to +5, that is oxidized. Is it clear? So, now what is this type of reactions are? This type of reactions are now called where an element from one molecule is reduced, you can say directly continuing it, an element from one molecule is reduced and also oxidized. Means only a single element, not two different elements from one molecule is reducing and oxidizing. Such type of redox reactions we call it as disproportionation reactions. Only one element from the same molecule will reduce and oxidize, is called disproportionation. Clear? So, now, so we have the last fourth class of reactions. Suppose you take this type of reaction, H2S plus SO2 will give S plus H2O. So, what is oxidation state of sulfur here? Hydrogen is anyhow +1, because when it is only with metal you will have -1. So, this is +1, this is -2, this is already we did yesterday in the previous classes already, sorry. So, this is already oxygen is -2. So, we will get sulfur as +4. So, here you can write suppose hydrogen +1, here sulfur is 0 because it is element, hydrogen here is +1, oxygen here is -2. Now, if you observe the things, sulfur here +4 it goes to 0, that means this sulfur will be coming from here only and this sulfur is also coming from here only, from the reactant side only. So, but sulfur is here and here, but this sulfur should come from here and as well as here. So, this sulfur is converted as +4, it is not balanced, that is why you are seeing the difference in numbers. So, this sulfur is going from +4 to 0, but this sulfur is going from -2 to 0. So, we say this is oxidation, this is reduction. So, what is these reactions now? That is only one element from two different compounds is reduced and oxidized. See carefully, only a single element from two different molecules. So, from one molecule it will undergo oxidation, from another molecule it will undergo reduction, but it has to be the same element, same atom. Such type of redox reactions we call comproportionation reactions. So, let us again see what are the 4 types of redox reactions. The first one is intermolecular, where in one molecule one element will oxidize, in another molecule another element will reduce. What is intramolecular? One molecule only, but one element will oxidize, another different element will reduce. Disproportionation reactions. Only from one molecule, only one element will undergo oxidation and reduction. Then comproportionation, two different molecule, but same element will undergo oxidation and reduction. So, there are 4 different types of redox reactions, but we generally won't apply these applications like here. So, we will take a reaction and we will try to balance it, whether it is any type of redox reactions. Clear? So, let us start. So, let us start with now the balancing of redox reactions. But as we said, all the redox reactions may not sometimes require some systematic procedures what we are discussing now. They are required at a particular stage. When you are having the so many components, so much complicated reaction is observed. So, you are having reactants and products with a higher number of compounds, chemical species, then you just use these systematic methods. If you have a simple redox reactions, you need not generally apply. That has already we said, was copper zinc plus copper sulphate giving zinc sulphate and copper, there is no need to balance, it is already balanced. Or carbon plus oxygen giving carbon dioxide, that is also a redox reaction. You can already balanced, or you can simply balance those such reactions. But when you have a complicated reactions, redox reactions, we actually see as systematic procedures. So, let us start with this balancing of redox reactions. So, again everybody has to mainly take this point into consideration is these methods only you have to apply when they specifically mention balance by the method or balance by this procedure, or let us say the reaction is so complicated. So, if they say balance it, you can use any different procedure what we discussed now, then you can balance it. So, unless you have a complication in it, no need to go for such methods, or when they are specifically questioning that, then you are actually going to that. But otherwise, you just go with a normal simplest procedures are available, that methods you can generally go for the reaction which you can balance easily. So, let us see, any redox reaction can be balanced mainly by 2 different methods. The first one is ion electron method, or this also we call half reaction method. Then second one, oxidation number method or state method. Mainly it is called as a number method. You will be seeing it a little bit later stages, why it is number, why not as a state, that we will see, not now introducing that all that. Is it clear? So, the methods which are generally used are ion electron and oxidation number. But this method has certain limitation. So, Later this method was developed and it is more useful, and we have to actually go on practicing the reaction balance method, balancing the reactions only by this method mainly, as you just move on. But this type of method will generally come in the lower levels, where you are actually going for IPE exams, because the steps are involved here, more steps are involved. This can be done in just in a 1 or 2 steps. So, this method generally will not be asked in the descriptive type of exams like IPE exams and all that. But if you go to application point of view, competitive exams, this method is more useful and it has no limitations at all. So, there are 2 methods which we can apply. So, let us start with the first method with the limitation, then we see what are the other method without any limitation, how you can do it. So, let us see ion electron or half reaction method. So, what is this and how we should actually go in a systematic way? Clear? So, let us write the steps first. Then we just take an example and we try to solve that based on that equations. But when this method is there, already we said there is a limitation. What is the limitation is? If any reaction is there for you to given for balancing or for us to give for us to balance. So, what is this is limitation is the reaction must be there in ionic form, means the every component, if you are assuming in a water or in a some solution, how it or what type of ions it will give in a solution, those ions should be there in the equations, or the equations must contain some ions in it. That is a simple way to understand, which is called ionic equation. If you write any equation in the completely molecules, then we say it is a molecular equation. So, let us take a simple equation I just take now. We will see in the other session, we will may be starting this now procedure. So, let us take a simple equation like KMnO4 reacting with FeSO4 with acid in it, converted as K2SO4 MnSO4 plus Fe2SO4 taken thrice plus H2. So, what happens in this equation if you write these compounds into solution condition? That is, if you take KMnO4, if you add into water, how do we know all this is? This you will know later stages. Nobody will be giving at the earlier stages this type of equations with any limitations are there. So, directly they give a equation with the application applying the limitation, that is ionic form will be given for you, then you have to proceed. So, I am just taking this only one equation. Now, we will see all other with the limitation directly. So, if you take KMnO4 in solution, it converts as K plus and MnO4 minus, and if you take FeSO4, it converts as or it ionizes as then H2SO4 as 2H plus and SO4 2 minus, then K plus or 2K plus SO4 2 minus. This is Mn2 plus SO4 2 minus. This has 2 Fe3 plus SO4 2 minus. This water will not ionize, it is a solvent only for us. Clear? So, what we do is now, when ions are there on both the sides, you assume them are not involved in the reaction, cancel them, that is it. So, we call that as spectator ions. ions which are not involved. So, sulphate is here, sulphate is here, sulphate is here, all this you remove it. Potassium is here, potassium is here, no need to see the numbers, just remove them, that is it. Then write the remaining equation. So, what is the remaining equation now? MnO4 minus Fe2 plus 2H plus giving Mn2 plus 2Fe3 plus H2O. This equation is called ionic equation. So, for us always it will be given directly, and next class we will see if an ionic equation is there, how we should proceed by this method to balance the equations. Clear?